Welcome everybody. I'm honored and excited to be here at Gatherverse Summit 2022. My name is Ippolito Caradonna. I'm a molecular biologist and medical XR technologist. Now, we're living history with a global pandemic that has stretched our frontline medical workers to the furthest extent. We've also seen the fastest group of approved vaccines in history. It's a dark time. But in that darkness, a light of innovation has illuminated our hearts and minds. Our technological advancements have now been realized, and the Metaverse is now being shared with the world. Emerging technologies that were once only science fiction are now at our fingertips. But with ever-growing and expanding tech innovation, we must not forget the why. We must rise to meet brilliant minds with even brighter hearts that are rooted in service, compassion, humility, and above all, humanity first. A little bit more about me. Over a decade ago, I fell in love with gene regulation and molecular biology deep in the redwoods of UC Santa Cruz. After moving from academia to industry, I was able to experience the fast-paced culture of biotech in Silicon Valley. I fell in love with automated liquid handling, robotics, and after about 7 years, 3 years ago, my passion for robotics and deep tech led me to holopractice and medical XR technology. Lastly, mentorship is in my blood. I come from a big family of social workers, educators, so when Christopher Lafayette invited me to be a part of Black Technology Mentorship Program, I was moved and inspired to answer the call to action. As moved and inspired as I am here, now, with you all, let me share why God means so much to me. This quote from the 26th U.S. President Teddy Roosevelt says it all. No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. With technology advancing at a rate exponential, we have to strive to be good stewards and ensure our virtues are maturing at the same rate. In early 2020, our lives took a dramatic turn. The COVID-19 pandemic has since shifted the way we live our lives. As Christopher Lafayette pointed out, we use the concept of disruption to refer to technology. However, never in our history have we seen something so devastating to our economies and quality of life. 370 million cases, 5.65 million deaths, over 150,000 hospitals, over 200,000 testing centers. But we have to remember the numbers. Beyond the statistics, there are real life people. Frontline workers that are spread thin but still giving 100%. There are scientists and researchers working tirelessly in the lab to understand the next set of variants and develop treatments that are sustainable for our quality of life. We want to extend the deepest gratitude to the frontline workers. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services quotes, "Hospital clinicians have had to keep up with emerging treatment protocols, often without sufficient specialty staff, such as infectious disease specialists, pulmonologists, respiratory therapists, and clinical nurses trained in treating COVID-19. So here is one of many examples of the frontline being stretched without optimal resources needed to provide quality care. The wellness of our frontline medical workers is in peril. Most of these brave individuals still live in fear. It's a very vulnerable time. Some of the challenges they face include burnout, high turnover rate, moral injury. So far, we're meeting these challenges with employee assistance programs, pandemic bonus pay, telecommuting. So the question we're asking here is, how can we provide more to the front line? How can we make their jobs easier? How can we equip them with the tools that will allow them to make even more of an impact? Smarter drug therapies, better treatments. The relationship between science and medicine has long been established. There's a synergism between scientific advancements and how they're translated to healthcare. At that intersection between these two institutions is technology. Whether it's new vaccines or cutting-edge robotics, able to execute high-throughput PCR tests, there will always be a high demand for new tools and techniques. At Hollow Practice, we believe the next step in this profound intersection is medical XR and other tools coming out of the metaverse. With these tools, we will have the ability to bolster more comprehensive collaboration, accelerate training, and increase productivity in the hospital and the laboratory. Let's talk about how the metaverse can help. A recent survey conducted by the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers shares that in 2021, companies accelerated the adoption of AR, VR, and mixed reality in response to the global pandemic. The bleeding edge technology mostly pouring out of the metaverse includes digital twins tech, which is a virtual representation of objects and now people. Holoportation, capturing the virtual representation, reconstructing and compressing, and eventually sending it anywhere in the world. Internet of Things, or IoT, the interconnectivity of an ecosystem of devices. Artificial intelligence and machine learning, fully automated and smart software programs that can learn and improve with every use. And finally, see-through HMDs or head-mounted displays, like Microsoft HoloLens, that preserves a direct view of the world around us. Some enterprise use cases are data visualization, virtual meetings, 3D conferences, and employee training. This is just to name a few. The possibilities are expanding by the second here. One of the most important qualities of a research laboratory is flexibility. Pivoting is something that is expected, but when that focus changes, how fast can we bounce back and hit the ground running on that new project and trajectory? A Swiss-American psychiatrist, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, who is known for her theory on the 5 stages of grief, also describes the 7 stages of change and the roller coaster of a ride that we go through inside our hearts and minds when we experience said change. There's shock, disbelief, self-doubt, acceptance, experimentation, meaning, and finally the integration where that change has actually been adopted. I like to think of medical XR as a bridge that has great potential to bypass a lot of that tension. Medical XR can soften the blow of new technologies, new techniques, and promote healthy productivity at a fraction of a time. Now, it is a huge claim with astronomical ramifications, so let me help us understand how to go about this. First, let's check in on our high-level perspective. Unlocking human potential. Diving into and coming face to face with our frailty, vulnerability. Tapping into and harnessing the power of the human heart and the human mind. Now, let's zoom in from the cosmic to the finite. At Hollow Practice and Aug Lab, we're building on a foundation we call the pillars of progress: perceptional alignment, time immersion, and human-centered technology transfer. These are the basis of our proof of concept work, for laboratory usage and hospital training. I want to unpack these concepts one by one. Perceptional alignment. A great example that everyone is familiar with is the lane assist safety feature found in many new vehicles. A split second is all it takes for a major car accident to occur. This technology helps enhance our focus while driving. Well, in a digitally projected environment, let's say in a laboratory, when there are risks of contamination to samples or other human errors that can lead to mistakes, we can build automated assistants that can guide operators through standard procedures with low error rate. Time immersion. Looking through the eyes of a scientist over a given period of time. The image here is of a person submerged in water. VR technology has a history now of treating certain phobias by creating immersive experiences. So imagine laboratory experts that have a great mastery of certain techniques. Now they can share their literal point of view and immerse trainees or other colleagues in laboratory processes. Imagine every nuanced movement, every subtlety in that process captured and shared over time. And finally, human-centered technology transfer. We are shifting the paradigm from protocol-driven tech transfer, moving beyond the words on a step-by-step procedure to a more comprehensive and tactile learning approach. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. A video is maybe 1,000,000 words. Well, imagine a digitally projected, shared, interactive environment. Now that's priceless. This way of sharing experiences will flatten steep learning curves and encourage more diversity in STEM. Complex and intimidating laboratory processes that would normally take years to master will be learned in a matter of months. In regards to our near-term goals for 2022, we will continue our individual research projects on each of our pillars of progress. What's very important right now is to start carving out or defining our metrics of success. So our KPIs are very important, key performance indicators. And finally, we plan on hosting a roundtable discussion by the end of the year with the Metaverse and medical community in order to start listening to how this cross-functionality can work most efficiently. We want to be the best conduit for this intersectionality. When you know better, you have to do better. With all the brilliant minds inside the Metaverse, why would we not provide our frontline with the best tools possible? We encourage you to contribute positively to your ecosystem, microenvironments to the global ones. We at Hollow Practice and Aug Lab will continue to chop wood and look forward to many others using XR technology to build tools for medical and science professionals. Again, I'm honored to have shared this space with you all. I want to thank and extend a deep gratitude to Christopher Lafayette for hosting, Elijah Claude, one of our first Hollow practitioners. He's also will be doing a talk in the summit, so make sure to catch his talk. Miss Diane Tucker, director at Black Technology Mentorship Program and one of my close mentors and colleagues. Again, thank you so much. May the summit surpass your expectations. May all your connections be true. Until the next time, stay healthy, stay happy, and stay hungry. Again, this is Ippolito Caradonna, co-founder and CEO of Aug Lab, signing off. Farewell and take care.